Hey, what's up you guys? It's your boy Drew here, back again with another video for all you American soccer fans out there. And in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 goalkeepers I would select for the Gold Cup this summer. Alright, so I know I said I was going to make a video about the roster I would select for the Gold Cup this summer, but as I was going through this whole 40-man roster that Greg Berhalter has put out the other day, and I was trying to slim it down to 23 players, as I was going through it earlier yesterday, I was like, you know what? This video is already 20 minutes long, and I'm only on like the 5th defender. So I need to split this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split each position up in a separate video. So I have one video for each different position. So in this video, we're going to talk about the goalkeepers he selected and which 3 goalkeepers I think should be officially named to the 23-man roster on June 6th when he announces his full team for the Gold Cup. Sound like a good plan to you guys? Because it sounds like a good plan to your boy Drew. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the players he had announced in the 40-man roster go as follows. Brad Guzan from Atlanta United, Ethan Horvath from Club Brugge in the Belgian League, Sean Johnson, that name always messes me up. Not Son, Sean Johnson. I don't know why Sean is spelled S-E-A-N. It just makes no sense. Sean Johnson, New York City FC, Tyler Miller from LAFC, and of course, my boy Zach Steffen from Columbus Crew, soon to be Manchester City. So that's the lineup we got here. That's the pool of goalkeepers we have going into this Gold Cup. Now, let's get the elephant out of the room, okay? Obviously, there's a big name, or at least a big name recognized player in terms of goalkeeper position missing from this group. Obviously, that's Bill Hamid. Now, Bill Hamid, everyone's wondering, like, yo, where's Bill Hamid at? Why is he not called up? Why, blah, 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 why? Well, I'll tell you why. Despite Bill Hamid being the best, the biggest, and I think the best stop shopper right now, shot stopper. I can't talk today, I'm sorry. Bill Hamid being the best shot stopper this MLS season, and also having 2 great penalty saves this season, and also only conceding less than a goal per game. That's the best ratio out of all goalkeepers in the MLS. So despite all those good accolades he has, we're going for him right now, and he's in good form with DC United, he wasn't called up. And why, you ask? Well, plain and simple, he's a little controversial. And by controversial, I mean he said some things a couple months ago about Greg Berhalter's group of goalkeepers that he picked for the January camp, back when we played, Chile and some other team that we beat, Ecuador, I think it was. So, in an interview he gave, because he was not called up for that January camp as well, that's the camp where we had players like Alex Bono, Sean Johnson, Tyler Miller, and Zach Steffen. All those great goalkeepers we had called up by Greg Berhalter for the national team, and Bill Hamid simply said this: I believe in my ability. I saw the group that they called in. I'm just going to be real with you. I feel like I'm better than all 4 of them. Now, that's a pretty rash and crazy statement. I mean, I think he's better than Tyler Miller and Alex Bono, especially right now in form. But I think him and Sean Johnson are kind of on the same level. And when Sean Johnson has a really good game, I think they're both on par. And also, I don't think he's better than Zach Steffen. He's got like 6-7 years on Zach Steffen, of course, but I think Steffen is just a better overall goalkeeper. Zach is way better with his feet, his handling of the ball, his distribution, passing the ball out from the back. You can really give the ball back to Zach Steffen and start from the back, because he's, like I said, he's good with his feet, and that's what Greg Berhalter likes. And that's also something that's a weakness for Bill Hamid. He's really not the best distributor in terms of ball delivery. He's good at stopping shots. He's good at making saves. Like I said, he's coming out for corners, blah blah blah. But when you start at the back with Bill Hamid, I just think that's a weak point of him, like a weak side of Bill Hamid's game on the field. He really is not the best long or short passer, and neither is Brad Guzan for that matter. So I don't know why Brad Guzan was also called up, but we'll get to that in a second. But that's basically the 2 main reasons I think that Bill Hamid was not called up for the national team. A little controversial, and not the best with the ball at his feet, and that's something that Greg Berhalter really wants in his goalkeeper for his national team. And another name that really kind of surprised me that didn't get a call up was Stephen Fry from Seattle Sounders. Now, Stephen Fry just recently became eligible to play for the U.S. men's national team. I think he was from, Switzerland or something. That was his original nationality, but he switched over to play for the U.S. because obviously he'd probably get more game time here, or so he thought. Because even though he's been one of the best goalkeepers this season, and maybe last year he was really good as well, for Seattle Sounders in the MLS, he really didn't get recognized at all yet for the U.S. men's national team. I mean, there was a point he was called up in the January 2017 preseason international camp, and that was before he was actually totally eligible to play, and he wasn't called up after that. So, a lot of people think maybe he's just too old to start his national team career, but if you go by that logic, like having going that, Stephen Fry is only 32 or 33 years old, and Brad Guzan is going to be 35 this September. So clearly, that's not a really big excuse. I mean, and Sean Johnson is also 30 years old right now, so not too far away from Stephen Fry's age. And obviously, goalkeepers can play for a much longer time than outfield players. I mean, Gigi Buffon is a great example. Dude's almost 40 years old or something, and he's still playing at the top level. So I think Stephen Fry was a really big miss from Greg Berhalter. I don't know why he didn't choose him, but let's just make do with what we got. And what we got is some really good goalkeepers coming up the ranks for the national team. Now, obviously, I only got to pick 3 of these goalkeepers because usually that's how tournaments work. You get 3 goalkeepers. One of them usually plays most of the games. The second one, you kind of just some backup just in case. The third one really hardly ever sees a game unless it's a game that we know we're going to win or that we know we can not really try in or whatever in a group stage match or something. So anyway, usually that's how national teams work. They pick 3 goalkeepers just in case of injuries and all that. So the 3 goalkeepers I'm going to pick for this Gold Cup roster, obviously, number 1, my boy, Zach Steffen. Without a doubt, the best goalkeeper right now for the U.S. men's national team, and probably the best goalkeeper in recent years for MLS. And he's only, like I said, 24 years old. He got so much potential on him. He's going to go to a big team, Manchester City, next season. He'll probably be a backup to Ederson. But what a good person to be backing up, and what a great manager to be working under Pep Guardiola. Obviously, if he can turn Ederson into that great goalkeeper with the ball at his feet, which is exactly what Greg Berhalter wants in his keepers, it's just all going to play out well. He'll have that skill that he has now, just transcended even more, and he'll come back to the national team even better goalkeeper. So obviously, Zach Steffen, my first pick. With my second pick, I think I'm going to go with Sean Johnson from New York City FC. I think he's been he's really rejuvenated his career. I think a couple years ago when he was at Chicago Fire, he really wasn't doing as well. He was recognized a bit, but I think he wasn't at the level he's at now. And he's obviously with age, he's 30 years old now. He's kind of matured into his goalkeeper role. He's doing really well, really good with pretty decent with the ball at his feet, I'd say. But in pretty good form the last couple of seasons. So got to give it to Sean Johnson for my second pick to back up Zach Steffen in goal this summer. And now for my third one, this third one was kind of a toss-up for me because, like I said, they probably won't play much unless there's really some crazy stuff going on, Zach Steffen gets an injury, which hopefully that never happens, or like I said, there's an easy game. We know we can win or lose, doesn't matter what game. Let's just put our third keeper in. And just because the third keeper doesn't mean they're that much of a less player than the first keeper. It's just priority and a little bit of skill level. So for my third goalkeeper, I hope I don't anger any Atlanta fans out there because I have to go with Ethan Horvath. I'm going to pick Ethan over Brad Guzan and Tyler Miller just because I don't really watch too many LAFC games to know the in and outs of Tyler Miller. So if you guys are LAFC fans or watch Tyler Miller's game a lot, let me know down below if you guys think he should be the third pick or at least be one of the picks in this Gold Cup roster this summer. But for my pick, I'm going to go with Ethan Horvath. I know he had a pretty big mistake a couple years ago when he kind of let the ball go through his feet and just or nutmegged himself with a save or whatever. I think that was against Portugal. And if he didn't have that mess up, we would have won the game 1-0. But it's all right. It's cool. It's cool. Whatever. He's young. He's only 23 years old. So I think a young player like that is good to get him out in a big tournament for the national team to really get some experience, get to see how the game's played in the top level of national team tournaments. Obviously, it's not the World Cup, so I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you think that's a top tournament? Blah blah blah. MLS sucks. You know, America sucks. Blah blah blah." Like, get over yourself. But yeah, honestly, I think that Ethan Horvath would be a great third goalkeeper for the national team. Like I said, he's going to have some good experience building up. Very, very young as a goalkeeper, 23 years old, like I said. I just think this would be a good building and stepping stone in his career to improve his game more. And for Brad Guzan, I just think, like, I'm over Brad Guzan. I'm over him. I never really was a fan of him. I was a fan of Tim Howard and Nick Raimondo, but Brad Guzan, like, every time I watched a game with Brad Guzan for the national team, like on the field, I was just like, I was always disappointed. They always lost when I watched. Now, was it me or is it Brad Guzan? I think it's Brad Guzan because I've watched a lot of new national team games and we haven't lost all the ones I've watched. So it's got to be Brad Guzan. I know he's a different player with Atlanta, and he does, I think, much better at club level with Atlanta than he did at the national team. But you know, he's going to be 35 this September, so I think we should really stray away from players like that. And if we're going to go for an older player, I definitely go with Stefan Fry. I think he's a much better goalkeeper than Brad Guzan, and I just think that it's good that we have Zach Steffen, Sean Johnson, and Ethan Horvath as our 3 picks for the goalkeepers this summer. But that's basically it. You know, those are my goalkeeper picks for the Gold Cup coming up June 6th. June 6th we're announced. We're going to get the announcement of the 23-man roster, and then June 9th, I believe, the tournament actually starts. So that's not that far away if you think about it. I am very excited to watch. I'm going to cover that tournament like crazy here. I'm also going to cover the women's national team World Cup as well on this channel. So if you guys aren't subscribed yet and you want to see someone talk about that or hear about it, make sure you guys subscribe down below. As always, again, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm still in shock about that. Let me know your 3 picks for the national team down below in the comment section. I hope I didn't say that already, but if I did, who cares? I'll just remind you guys again. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for kicking it with me, and I'll see you next time.